I'm Jim Hawkins, and I teach and study consumer credit law and policy here at the University of Houston Law Center. If you're attending law school in 2026 and are planning to take out loans, there are important changes you need to keep in mind. The biggest shift is this: federal borrowing is now capped. In other words, you may not be able to rely on federal loans alone to cover the full cost of paying tuition or for other parts of a legal education. Starting July 1st, 2026, students in JD Law School programs can borrow up to $50,000 per year in federal Direct Unsubsidized Loans, with a $200,000 cap at the professional level. If you're seeking to enroll in a Master's of Law or LL.M program, the annual cap is $20,000 a year. There is also a lifetime federal borrowing limit of $257,500 across all federal student loans. What this means for some students is that federal loans may not cover full tuition, living expenses, and other expenses related to taking the bar exam, like they did in the past. These changes come from recently passed legislation. You may have heard it referred to as one big beautiful bill. Name aside, what matters is that law students now need to plan for borrowing limits ahead of the time when they're initially accepted and not wait until they're actually enrolled. That may be too late. So what should you do? First, consider scholarships. Even small awards can help reduce the amount you need to finance through loans. Second, complete a FAFSA form. FAFSA stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. You don't need it to be enrolled in law school to complete a FAFSA form, so fill it out as soon as it opens up for the academic year you plan to attend. You will likely need to list the law schools you're considering so the school can use the form to determine your level of federal loan eligibility. Third, consider tuition costs at law schools that you've been accepted to, and analyze the total cost of attendance, including living expenses, to determine how big of a gap you might be facing, and compare it to what you realistically can borrow. You may find that a law school that gives you a small scholarship, while at the same time costs less in tuition, is still the better deal than a larger scholarship at a law school that costs significantly more. Also, determine if your law school has a tuition waiver for out-of-state students. At the University of Houston Law Center, some students who can meet certain requirements can receive in-state tuition even if they're not Texas residents. This can significantly reduce the costs. Fourth, private loans are still an option. But remember, private loans are primarily credit-based and may carry higher interest rates. With private loans, you may need a cosigner or collateral. Be sure to read the terms carefully. Bottom line, financing a legal education is still possible going forward, but paying for it may require you to plan more. Understanding the new loan caps and thinking about how you'll finance the difference, if needed, can make things run much smoother in the long run.